What was the name of your ship?
The name of my ship? Oh, my ship's name.
That can't be on me. That cannot be on me.
It's in my notes. It's just right here in my OneNote. It's just not in the right tab. I had my Kalis Vanatar notes up. I had to switch back to my session notes.
My ship, her name be Hold Tight Now.
Ahoy, ahoy, and welcome to Blades and Banners, a Tales of the Valiant actual play set in the Eberron campaign world. Colin, what happened last time?
We went home. We headed back to port, had the repairs made on our ship, and went to meet with Lesh Durga, who met us without friendliness, as we learned after reporting to her the success of our outing. We learned that there has been a frame job and someone is flying our colors and is betraying the treaties of the prince and his protections. And she thought it was us. She believed that it was not, and we have been set on task to go and find out who it is that is sullying the good name of the Coral Fang. And go ahead.
Y'all got the shade eye.
We did. I was so hard not to say that in the episode. I'm trying to live in the moment. And we decided that after retelling our adventures, if we were going to go and get into things with a ship that is attacking other ships, we should be able to do something about it. So we got guns. We got cannons on our ship now. The installation was completed. Orin went to discuss the possibility of exercising his handsome devil. And Elliewise went home and came back with croissants for everyone. So we've got snacks for the trip now, and we are setting off.
Well, you need snacks for the trip.
I'm not disagreeing at all. Colin or Finian.
Correct. So y'all have set back out to sea in your ship and are heading in the direction of Vale, where you've been told the survivors from the merchant ship that was attacked had been dropped off in the hopes of getting some information from them and possibly making a plan to find and deal with this false flag flying vessel.
Indeed.
GG's.
Ah, fool. Should have said fool. I'd take another take, but that wouldn't be honest. Yeah, so it is basically the rest of the day's voyage, the rest of the day to get to Vale. And you come into Vale, well, I guess I should ask, along the way, there was discussion previously of trying to lure an attack. Are you doing that along the way, or are we just heading to Vale?
I think just heading there.
Okay. So you spend the rest of the day sailing to Vale, and as evening is falling, you come into the dock and are able to tie up there in the pier. So what's the plan, gang?
Go find them survivors.
Is the harbor master the same one that Orin had dealt with the last time we came here?
No. When you come down off of the gangplank, there's a person. It's a person. Yeah, I think person is the right word. And you, as you get close, see that this person has a lot of scars and a lot of stitching, repairing maybe wounds. And as you come down, approaches and turns a book that is essentially a ledger, and holds it out in a really big hand and just goes, "Sign."
All right. Then Finian will. The cost for tying up here.
Silver.
Okay. And we'll hand him one. Am I misremembering? Is this not where Orin had previously made friends on the dock? Was that?
Yeah, there was a harbor master and their dog.
The
child, that was in
right?
Savenir.
That was the
okay.
Savenir.
Okay.
But I had talked to the harbor master previously.
Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
also. Yeah.
This one just doesn't seem likely to give us as much information as, a living one may have.
Mm-hmm. So, to the hanged man? Or do we know where the survivors are being kept?
We weren't given any information on that, so somewhere here. Seems as good a place as any to start, I suppose.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so you head down the road, past Exhumed, and on towards the Hanged Man. As you approach, the corpse hanging from the roof. Hello.
Hello.
Enjoy your visit.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Yeah. Come on into the Hanged Man.
To the barkeep, I would imagine. Going to work, not sitting for social.
Yep.
All right. So you walk up to the bar, and there are a bunch of skeletons working behind the bar.
Yep, that tracks.
But there is tonight there is a human, a young, probably you would guess mid-20s, human woman who comes down the bar after seeing you not place an order, and says, "They can understand you."
We're here for information, actually. Getting a lay of the land. We are coming to inquire about the survivors of the merchant vessel attack that were dropped off here.
Why would you be inquiring about that?
We have some questions for them. We're concerned about what befell them, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
From Prince Rager?
We flew in with our colors flying. I don't like. we're not trying to hide it.
Nope.
No, we're actually from Coral Fang. We believe that somebody was falsely flying our colors and attacked the ship, trying to make it seem like it was one of us.
Ah, I see.
Yes. So, do you have an idea of where the survivors are currently?
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to tell us?
I like to tell you.
Are you willing to tell us?
Well, the thing is, the word around is that it was Coral Fang that attacked that ship. So if, and I know you were saying someone framed you, but if it were to turn out that actually Coral Fang did attack that ship, and I helped you find the crew, and then the crew, being the only witnesses to that attack, ended up dead. Some of that heat seems like it might fall on me, so...
You could go with us.
So by your
I work
logic,
here.
if we were to be lying to you, we would go and murder a witness and then tell people where we received the information from.
I don't know who's seen you.
Does seem a risk. And
We're willing to talk to them with witnesses if it's somebody in a position of power in the town that is looking after them or something like that. We're not looking to corner them in a dark alley.
Or a light alley.
Yes, just seeking information. I assure you we don't mean them any ill. We are just here to try to clear the name of our crew and our principality.
I'm not worried about whether you mean them ill will. I'm worried about whether some of this is going to get on me if you go and cause trouble in town.
How can I assure you
Nobody
that
would
won't
know
be the
that you
case?
sent us.
Well, except, anybody here in the bar who saw you come up and start talking to me, and Dock Master who took your name, and the hanged man outside who saw you come in.
I guess that's true that they saw you talking to us, people at a bar. Do you not normally
Look.
talk to the people at the bar?
Look, those people end up dead. They're going to ask, where'd those people go? They come in, who'd they talk to? Then they come ask me, what'd they talk to you about? And I'm going to have to say, well, they asked me where the survivors of that ship were, and I told them that they were, in such and such a place. And then suddenly it's, well, why? Were you working with them?
Orin slides 10 gold on the bar.
They're up at the keep.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
And Orin turns and walks out.
same.
Oh.
Have a good evening.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Head to the keep.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, good
on the
point.
way.
She was not actually worried. Well done.
Thank you.
So you all head up the road. It winds back and forth in switchbacks as it makes its way up this rocky bluff overlooking the sea, at the foot of which is the town. As you're going up, as if dramatically on cue, I'm going to say that a storm rolls in, and you look up at the keep as lightning flashes, silhouetting it against the stormy sky.
Of course.
Somewhere someone starts playing an organ.
Every time we get here, I can't wait to leave.
Why?
And finally, after a long walk, you reach the top of the road, now much rained on, and come to the gates of a very Gothic-looking keep. The gates are closed, and a large portcullis is down across the front.
Is there any kind of communication device around that we would see?
I would take a perception check from you.
14.
There is a genuinely, slightly absurdly huge round door knocker that Ellie-wise could easily like sit in the rain of.
Wow.
Like swing on it.
So Heino, would you give that one good thud for me?
Oh, sure thing. Are we covered right now? Are we?
Yeah, there's a the gate is sort of recessed into the gatehouse enough that you're out of the rain while you're standing right here.
All right. So Heina's going to give a big shake to get the water off.
Okay.
And then knocks.
All right. You heave up the ring and let it fall with a thunderous against the door. A moment later, a small viewing port in the door slides open, and a skull looks out at you.
Hi.
We need to speak to someone about seeing the survivors from the recent merchant vessel attack.
Please.
And thank you.
Skull just rattles back and forth across the gates, looking at you in different angles. Expressionlessly, because...
Skull.
Oh, Oren, do you think we should give it gold? That worked last time.
I don't think so. Not in this case.
Oh.
Are you the keeper of the door here?
The skull nods, grinning.
Right. We were sent...
Not that it has a choice.
In your direction, and would greatly appreciate to speak to whoever it is in charge of your keep here.
It leans its head over a little bit. It raises a skeletal hand and points at you.
At Finian?
Mm-hmm.
Or the group? Me? I would like to be part of the conversation. Yeah. Right.
The skull sort of drops forward against the gate in a slightly exasperated gesture. And then
I know the feeling.
Raises
well,
a hand and points at you again.
I feel as though this could be an expedited process if you brought us someone who could more easily convey your message to us.
It can't sigh.
Raises his shoulders and drops them.
It does in a slightly exaggerated motion. Lift the shoulder bones and drop them again. and tries one more time, points at you, and then spreads its skeletal hands to either side of its head.
Can I roll perception?
Or insight would be probably more relevant.
I do love rolling insight. But I don't do it well.
Can I roll insight?
It's
Philip?
12.
Sure.
15.
It seems to be trying to find out who we is.
We are representatives from the Korfang Principality.
The skeleton raises its hands and drops them. And then the viewport slides closed. And you are left in silence for a while. And after that, there's a loud and then a slow of wheels turning, and the gate begins to slowly creak backwards. And then the portcullis slowly rattles up with the rattling of chains. And about a dozen skeletons are standing on the other side in armor, holding spears.
Hello.
And
Appreciate you.
they
This way?
shift into an aisle, 6 to a side, and all of them kind of lean their head in that direction at the same time.
Walk that way.
Headed down there.
They turn and begin to walk in step along either side of you. Behind
Love
you,
this.
the gates, the portcullis slowly slides closed, the gate slowly wheels closed, and then there's another loud as it locks.
It's worrisome the dramatics are not simply out in public. It appears it's just the nature of this place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find them more intimidating or the bugbear?
There's more of there. I'd rather fight one bugbear than 12 skeletons.
That's my question.
Now, 1-to-1, 12 bugbears versus 12 skeletons. Definitely take the skeletons over the bugbears.
Sorry, the bugbear was intimidating?
That's why he was there.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh.
I need to start considering your perspective more, I believe.
Thank you.
The skeletons march you up through the courtyard and up to the door of the keep, which is open. There is sort of yellow firelight pouring out through the big double doors of the keep, which are reached by a flight of stairs. The skeletons form to either side of the stairs, completely oblivious to the rain, and stop.
Walk up the stairs.
So as you walk into the keep, there are a number of people who look to you like staff or servants. And there is one person standing by the fire. Looks like a tall, somewhat gaunt man with pale skin and ash-colored hair, which is pulled back and tied behind him. When he looks up, he has just piercing ice-colored eyes, like icy blue eyes, and walks towards you holding a glass of wine and bows formally and says, "Greetings. I am Sea Lord Kalis Vanatar."
Hello. Pleasure to make your acquaintance and meet face to face finally.
Yes, indeed. I am told you are asking after my guests,
Yes, we are.
and that you are from the principality they blame for their misfortune.
Yes, which is precisely why we wish to speak to them in whatever circumstances that all parties are comfortable with. But we were not involved in the unfortunate events that were beset upon them, and we are trying to get to the bottom of it and bring the actual guilty parties to justice.
A very noble sentiment.
Indeed.
And you
Glad
are?
we can agree. I am Orin DeWiven. These are my companions.
Hello.
Finian
Are your
Driftwood.
companions nameless?
No, I just like to give them the opportunity to introduce themselves.
You seemed equally unwilling to introduce yourself to my door warden.
Yes,
So,
Finian.
I'm Ellywise Toggle Braid.
Finian
So
Driftwood.
Heina. Oh, yeah, him first. My turn now. So Heina Thalassictus, hello.
Good evening to you all. Well, I suppose as long as my people are present, there is perhaps no harm in you interviewing my guests, if they are willing.
Of course.
I will assure their safety in this matter, being present myself.
We are more than happy to make that accommodation.
Good. In the meantime, please make yourselves comfortable. Can I interest you in a drink?
I believe we are fine, thank you.
Are you sure?
I like drinks.
Raises
Yeah.
the goblet to his mouth and takes a drink.
Do you have lemon ice?
I do not know what lemon ice is.
Okay.
I do not drink ice.
Oh,
Drinks would be lovely, thank you.
very good.
Very
with white
good.
wine.
Ice in wine.
Yes. It's delicious.
It is.
He turns to his servants. See to our guests' needs. I will return shortly.
Thank you.
He turns and walks with a long, stately gait up a flight of stairs and through another door. Servants come
I
forward
think-
and offer you glasses.
I
Thank
think
you.
he judged the ice in the wine suggestion.
I
Oh,
know.
he certainly did, yes.
Okay, you got that too. Okay.
Yes, and Orin
Most
sets his
assuredly.
sets his cup down without taking a drink.
Finian does as well.
Okay, well, it seems like you guys are judging the. Am I not supposed to be drinking this? I don't understand what's happening.
I mean, sometimes people just put poison in your drinks, so you got to be careful.
Oh,
Or some other alchemical reagent that causes you to tell the truth in all things, and then they get whatever information
would
they
call
want
that
out of you,
poison.
or something that paralyzes you. Yes.
you're not supposed to tell the truth in all things.
There's shades of the truth. And they've ways to prevent you from seeing what you ought to be telling.
Like,
To be clear, we're only telling the truth while we're here, though.
yes, but if he were to ask some personal information about Lesh Durga, we would not reveal that information. But if we were to drink something that would make us more likely to reveal, answer any question willingly, then we would let secrets slip. not saying that's what he's done, but I prefer not to take that risk.
I mean, I'm gonna at least
Finian,
look
do you
at
have
my drink and smell it.
I was about to ask, Finian, do you have some way of telling if a drink has been tampered with? This is kind of your realm.
Poison drinks is not a specialty of mine. However, if there's magic, I'd be able to tell. Take a little tap on the eye patch here for detect magic. See if I can see anything in my magivision.
Okay. There's no magic on the cups or in the drinks. There is magic on all the servants.
With
Do the servants look undead, or do they look?
They
just
look
like
human.
people. Okay.
I have detect poison, so I'm gonna do that.
It's literally
Could have expedited this whole conversation.
Well, y'all put your drinks down. I'm gonna look at mine.
Yeah, no, you're good.
That was so perfectly revealed to us, Casey. The slow roll is a wonderful change there.
These cups do not appear to be poisoned.
What about the liquids in them, though?
No, the liquids also do not appear to be poisoned.
What?
Okay,
Would it be reasonable to say?
Except yours.
What's the drink?
Yours has been poisoned.
And you did drink from it.
Yeah, it's a contact poison on the cup.
So-
Casey asked what the liquid was in the
Yeah.
cups.
Based on are you drinking it? Based on what?
Well, I looked at it and sniffed it first.
Okay.
Give us the Michael
it-
Scott sommelier grading.
It's a nice it's a nice rich red liquid. Smells alcoholic.
Metallic at all?
Notes of bronze.
Yep.
A rich bouquet.
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
Oh no.
I thank you so much for providing this drink that I'm just gonna sit back on this table.
I said no, we didn't want drinks. You're the ones that insisted on getting drinks.
What is the
I like
distance from me to
Drinks.
the closest guard? Would they be an earshot? Would I be able to talk to Orin
You could talk quietly to Orin.
without being heard?
I mean, that would be based on the hearing of the listener.
Yeah.
You think that you are distant enough from a standard person to speak quietly to Orin without being overheard.
As best I can see, on the cups and in the drinks, at least, there's no magic. Trying to make sure that Orin and I have eye contact to give a
Yes.
look around to try to pass the information that there is, however, magic in the room standing around.
Ah. Good to know. Good. Great. Super.
Aye.
Hey.
And
yeah.
Ellie Wise has conveyed that they're not poison.
I have.
The drinks. Okay.
Correct.
So Sahina, understanding that she's kind of a little out of her water here, she sniffs it and the scent really gets to her, so she just kind of leans back a little bit, hopefully out of the view of the rest, and just downs the drink.
Okay.
It's tastes like a really good wine.
And she wipes her hand paw across her mouth and just quietly puts the cup down.
I love that everything is a shot for her. I love it so much. I don't think we have had a normal paced consumption of a drink.
Why take many small drink when one big drink do trick?
Correct.
So after you've been here for a few minutes, you hear a door open and Lord Venatar comes back down the steps, followed by a handful of people. Mixture of humans and half-elves and a dwarf. There are 5 people. And Venatar says, then, I have persuaded the survivors to speak to you under the condition that I will remain here and ensure their safety. I assure
Perfectly
them
reasonable.
you mean no harm and would not be so foolhardy as to cause trouble in my own home.
Of course.
It's true.
We thank you for your hospitality thus far. Do we recognize any of the survivors that are in this room?
Pointing your finger really aggressively at me. It's like,
Answer now. Answer now. Don't
know
think too
your
long.
tricks.
no, you don't recognize these.
Okay. Orin does let out a little, like, okay.
You said 5.
Yes.
I mean, I assume there's ample seating in this room, like, to gesture for.
We're
all
at a
parties
conference
to have a
table.
There is a very large banquet table in the center of this room, yes.
I'm sorry. Can I roll an insight check?
You totally can roll an insight check. For what purpose?
Well, what is his name?
Kalis Venatar.
Who founded this city?
Thank you.
True.
I would like to roll it on Lord Kalis Venatar. I want to know if, when he was saying that he would protect them, was that in air quotes? Have they in? Is there something underneath that? Like, is he? Are the survivors safe here from him?
Okay.
Oh my goodness. The digital dice are about to be
I
vanished.
told you last session I had to do it myself.
Oh my goodness. 7. I rolled a 7. To be clear, I get +6. Like,
Oh, so you rolled a natural 1.
I did. I rolled a natural
Okay.
1. I rolled the worst.
You wake up in a.
You know, you just find yourself kind of lost in his eyes.
They're so blue.
They're so blue.
Bummer.
They're so very blue.
What are you doing?
He's really quite charming.
with these thinly veiled threats against us.
Orin gestures.
He's
for
being
everyone to
chivalrous.
see.
He's protecting his guests. Laws of hospitality, man. Come on.
Makes sense to me.
Sure.
They sit down. Kalis walks down to the end of the table and sits in a large and particularly ornate chair. All of the chairs are ornate, but this one's especially ornate.
Yeah.
Sets his glass on the table and leans back in the chair and watches.
Orin clears his throat and says, well, thank you all for agreeing to speak with us. We know that it must have been difficult going through what you went through. We were hoping just to level set our perspective on things. Our leader, Leshturga, knows and can account for all of her ships at the time of the attack upon you all. And so we are trying to get down to the bottom of who was flying our colors and why they wished you harm, and they wish to implicate us in causing you harm. So we would love to just hear from your perspective what happened when the attack occurred. Any descriptions of any ships or relevant parties that you might be able to recall?
The crew look over towards the dwarf, who sits forward. She were flying coral fang colors. Was a dark-hulled ship. I'd call her a corsair class. Name of Reckless Grace written on her prow.
Excellent.
Had the coiled serpents of the coral fang painted on her masts, on her sails.
Is Reckless Grace a name from the fleet we recognize?
No.
Okay.
Did you get a good look at any members of the crew when they were beset upon you?
Aye. The captain were a half-elf, a Corvar. He dark and brooding type. Seemed to fight with an unearthly sort of grace in battle. But she came along behind us, blew out our rudder with her guns, boarded us, killed about half my crew, and set us adrift.
Did they say anything of note when they were relaying orders to each other or threatening you all?
Told us our ship was claimed as a prize by the Coral Fang Principality in the name of Lesh Durga.
Of course they did. All right. And then I understand that members of the Riptide Principality rescued you.
Indeed. 'Twere only a few hours later when she happened upon us. We were right grateful. Being lost and being adrift in the gauntlet is no place for a human or a dwarf or any type of person.
Of course. And what can you tell me about the vessel that rescued you all?
'Twere a Riptide merchant vessel, carrying goods along the gauntlet.
Any notable members of the crew?
The captain were a human. He turns to the others, and one of them says, Silas, I think. I name us Silas.
Silas. Does that name ring any bells, Philip? I'm flipping through my notes.
Nope.
Okay. And were they just already on their way to Vale by happenstance, which is why they...
No, 'twere the nearest port.
Where were you all headed when you were attacked?
We were headed north, back to Regalport.
Okay. Where were you coming from?
We'd made a long haul up from Kabara.
Oh. What would you say is... what were you carrying that would be most likely to have drawn pirates to take your cargo?
'Twere dragon shards we carried.
Right.
And hard won they were. The waters off Kabara be no place for the weak-hearted.
I've heard tales. You must be a very brave crew to have sailed them.
Ships full of scaled fiends clambering aboard your ship.
My.
Sounds exciting.
Sounds like you sail to Kabara frequently.
Oh, aye.
What was the name of your ship?
The name of my ship. Oh, my ship's name.
That can't be on me. That cannot be on me.
It's in my notes. It's just right here in my OneNote. It's just not in the right tab. I had my Kalis Vanatar notes up. I had to switch back to my session notes.
My ship, her name be. Hold tight now. It's right here. What's in the wine, Kalis? This does not get edited out.
I'm not cutting it out. I've got so many notes, guys. There we go. My ship's name were the Whale Shark.
Whale shark. And what was your name?
'Tis my favorite aquatic beast.
Aha. I see.
Understandable.
Since I were a wee lad waiting to go to sea, I swore that if ever I owned me own ship, I'd call her the Whale Shark.
Well,
And now she's at the bottom of the gauntlet.
oh,
I'm very sorry. And what was your name? Apologies.
My name be Rufus.
Rufus. Captain Rufus of the Whale Shark.
Indeed.
Well, I would like to do an insight check to see if there are any, like...
God, I can't stay in that character any longer. I just wrote next to him, as salty as one can be.
Well
Laughter
executed
like a dog's
then.
eyes.
And I didn't realize I would not be able to hold on to it.
Well executed.
You could have him clear his throat, and then his voice is just lovely. So, apologies.
Cheerio.
So, what were we talking about? No, basically, I'd like Orin to make an insight check to see. Orin is concerned that information is being omitted either intentionally or supernaturally through, like, Kalis being obviously a vampire to have, like, charmed them in some way.
This is a wild accusation
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
throwing around here.
He's
I'm-
not saying it out loud.
I'm going to insight at the same time, but while Orin is having this Rufus conversation, Finian is actively watching how the rest of the crew listens to see if there's any of them that are wanting to, like, add on if they catch that something's missing.
Okay.
Dirty 20
And for a
on mine.
third one,
Oh.
nice. I'm just sitting and staring at
Could I pitch you
Lord
on
Callis.
perception?
So, can I
You can, yes.
roll insight or
I'll-
perception?
No, I'm going to say insight. It's insight. You can absolutely roll perception to try and notice the behavior of the crew. It's just not going to
I'm
get that kind of information.
Well, I have a 0 modifier on my insight, so that's why the pitch, but I got a nat 20 on the insight.
You
Well.
did. That's fantastic.
So
Okay, so nat 20 on insight on the crew. What was Orin's insight on Rufus?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. And what
I
is...
hate you all.
Miss Insight, what'd you do?
I rolled a 5 that time, so 11.
Stop using the digital dice.
I know.
This is how I felt,
Maybe
but
get
in
it.
combat.
Man, Kalis is really handsome and
Ellie White's feet are
very,
kicking in the chair, staring at
very
him.
charming.
Right.
Like,
She literally like has her elbow on the table.
This is the weirdest ship in our show's history. little Ellie and this incredibly daunting vampire.
Don't know where these things are coming from. Yeah, as you're staring, he glances over at you and says, "You have very fine white hair, Miss Togglebraid."
Thank you. Your eyes are really pretty.
Thank you.
Yes.
Orin, you don't get the impression that Rufus is being deceptive. You think that he really is this much of a stereotype. And Finian, watching the crew, I would say the impression you actually get isn't so much of anyone's like wanting to step up. You kind of have the impression that a couple members of the crew are watching you all with thinly veiled hostility, and are perhaps perturbed that Rufus is being so open with you.
Mm-hmm. There's a desire from our organization to set right as best we can what's been done. And Finian not talking at Rufus. Our name been drug. Can you lads think of anything that may be of assistance to us in setting right the wrong that was fallen on you?
You had a natural 20. I will skip the persuasion check I would normally have you make here. One of the crew. No, they the ballista they were launching seemed to strike the deck and burst into these clouds of vapor, and it was the weirdest thing. You just had this, I don't know, it seemed like I was seeing somewhere else for a moment, and then they just overwhelmed us. We were just completely lost to where we were for a moment, and by the time I had my wits about me again, they were everywhere, and it was over.
Was it something you saw in the vapor, or something you saw on account of the vapor?
It's really hard to say. It for maybe just a moment, it was like I was just somewhere else. I wasn't. It's all kind of murky now, but it like dreamlike. But it was like I wasn't there for a moment. I didn't see what was happening and then when I came back, it was too late. It was over.
Was there damage done, or was it the releasing of this that was the intention of the shot?
It didn't hit me, but it struck the deck, and it seemed like something on it burst when it struck the deck.
Finian looks over at Orin at that moment. Recognition.
Well, we appreciate all of you with your cooperation. You said you were headed back to Regalport. Have you arranged? Is that where your homes were? I'm presuming.
Aye, that be our home port. Our consortium of merchants has arranged travel for us. There'll be a ship along in a day or two.
All right.
Lord Kalis has generously extended us hospitality until our travel arrives.
Excellent. Well, that is very kind of Lord Kalis, and I'm sure his hospitality is exceedingly exuberant.
Fearless,
Yes,
you might say.
indeed.
Incomparable.
As is your hospitality towards us in the effort of making right the wrong done in our name.
Well, I would not
Yes,
like it to
thank
be
you.
said that the waters near Vale are not safe for merchants.
Of course.
I take quite seriously this matter.
Same.
We are very thankful that you are taking this matter seriously and so helpful. Well, we now have the name of a ship to go seek after in the Reckless Grace. One last question. Where you were attacked, were you able to see the direction that the Reckless Grace took off in after attacking you?
I would like one of you to roll a d20 that is a retroactive perception check on behalf of Rufus.
We know it shouldn't be me.
Is Mia the only one that hasn't rolled this session?
Mia, you haven't been doing any rolling.
Okay.
If you want to,
D20.
don't screw it up.
You can add 7 to whatever you roll.
I rolled 12, so that makes 19.
Nice.
Okay.
Well done.
Whew.
By the bearing, it seemed to me they were making a line north, which struck me as perhaps a bit odd, given their flags suggest they'd head south towards 7th. They seem to be heading a bit north towards the coast at Nine Bay Isle. You had a 19?
Yes.
There's an old lighthouse off the coast there. We've used it as a refuge when storms have come up or when the ghost's been too active. Might be they'd hold themselves up there.
I would like to make an insight check on Lord Callus to see if this is new information to him. How interested he is in this information.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have to do that. I'm watching them.
19.
You see... He does seem intensely interested in what is being said. You see his eyes narrow a little bit as he hears that.
All right. Old lighthouse headed north. Philip, based on our understanding where the attack happened and everything, does our understanding of the gauntlet and Nine Bay Isle glean any further insight in where this ship would have been headed to?
I would take a history check from someone. Because there's not a geography skill, so I pick history because it's a social study.
18.
18. Yes, you have heard of this old lighthouse.
Okay. Is it near a bay or a settlement or anything like that?
It's maybe another day's sailing north from here, and it's not close by one of the other settlements. It's on a small island, but the island kind of shields a little bit of water of the waterway, so that the waters between it and the island make for a slightly sheltered cove that ships will use when there is a storm in the gauntlet.
Excellent. Well, I can't imagine there's any further information that you all would have for us. So I appreciate, unless any of my companions have a question they would like to ask.
Nothing from Finian.
Captain Rufus, the rest of the crew of the Whale Shark, thank you all so much for your time and your cooperation. We hope to get down to the bottom of who did this to you and see that justice is done to them. Lord Callus, we appreciate your hospitality and cooperation as well.
Excellent. We can speak again in a few moments. Let me see my guests back to their rooms.
Very well.
And he gestures grandly, and the crew of the Whale Shark stand up and follow him up the stairs.
As soon as he leaves the room, Orin gestures to everyone else with a keep quiet gesture, and we can debrief back on the ship, I think.
There's a loud crash of lightning.
Svoboda just pops out. No.
I'm here for truth.
There's a shaking sound, and you turn and you briefly remember Sohaina shaking her fur off on you, and you turn, and just a genuinely huge black dog comes trotting through the door, like Irish wolfhound in size and shape, but just black. Shakes itself off and walks in, and after a moment, Kalis comes back down. Ah, I see you've met Raven.
We just became acquainted. We saw
holding
a
my
black
hand
dog
out.
before.
See if it'll
Says,
sniff.
flipping back through his notes.
She comes over and presses her nose against your hand.
Sohaina would
I'd give it
absolutely
scritches.
go over. Yeah. With Ellie Wise paying attention to the pup.
Raven presses into both of your hands, sniffs you both, and looks up at you with eyes that reflect reddishly. Now, let us discuss what I get from all of this.
Of course. What is it that you desire, Lord Callus?
There is a site further inland that I would like a team of enterprising individuals to explore for me. An old ruin in an old fortress. I'm given to understand that it may be the final resting place of a artifact interesting to me as a Karn. Of
course.
Substantial historical value.
Of course. And just for my clarification, you're saying further inland from Vale, not the lighthouse that Captain Rufus referenced?
Yes. Further inland from here.
Of course. Yes, we would be, I assume, more than happy to make right any debt that we incurred through this meeting. If it's amenable to you, we would prefer to put a bow on our current business and endeavors, and then we can circle back to get this artifact for you, if that's all right with you.
That is acceptable to me.
Excellent.
I understand that your current matter has a certain time sensitivity.
We appreciate your understanding in this.
And I know you will return.
Of course we will. This is not our first time in Vale. It's a very charming settlement. We enjoy our time here.
I do like
Thank
it a
you
lot.
very much.
It is always an experience.
Well,
Worked hard to produce a little slice of Karnath here in the principalities.
yes. It's you've done a excellent job in that effort.
Provides a home for my old crew.
Yes.
And for many others now.
Of course. Well, we should probably be going.
Are you sure you wouldn't like to stay the night? It
very
is
much
quite
appreciate
late after all.
I forgot
It's
my
true.
toothbrush, so I could not possibly do that.
I could provide you one.
I appreciate the offer, but only sleep best on the ship.
Thank you
I'll
for
be
your
returning.
hospitality, Cass. Perhaps another time we can take you up on that when we return to hunt down the artifact, perhaps.
Excellent. I will see that bedrooms are made available.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye. And Orin stands up and starts walking towards the exit, and maybe does a double take at Ellie Wise and
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. Finian is going to stand next to Ellie's chair until she gets up.
Kalis is by the door and sees you out. Glass of wine, glass held in his hand. You sure you won't have dinner? I already fed myself, but I could easily have something prepared for you.
That's such a nice offer.
We appreciate that offer. It is a very nice offer. We
It'll be
must
surely
be going.
better than something you will find in the pubs in town.
We must be getting back to the ship to attend to our business. But thank you. We will see you soon.
Perhaps I could see you down to the docks and see this fine ship.
I would not want to impose. You have guests here. Your dog just returned. Thank you so much, Lord Callis. Goodbye.
Your dog just returned.
When
Your dog just returned. It's so good.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that in the future. My dog just got back.
It would be legit too. Like,
It's so good.
and then Orin is beaten out the door.
And Finian is shuffling Ellie out the door. We go.
thank you. Bye.
It was very
Raven, it
nice
was so nice
to meet
meeting
you.
you too. Same. You too.
The dog
We'll see
comes
you
over
again.
and sits, and Kalis rests his hand on her head.
And then Orin is rushing to get out of the gate of the house and headed towards the docks as quickly as he possibly can.
Okay. How's everyone else reacting to Orin's hurry?
Keeping up.
I can't.
Attempting.
I just walk.
Finian, pick her up.
Yeah, Finian, absolutely. If Ellie makes a gesture of wanting the help, Finian will reach down and grab her up.
How common are vampires in
You know vampires exist, but they're by no means common. You know
That's not
vampires
what-
are real.
Orin's not rushing because he's freaked out or scared. Orin is rushing with a sense of urgency to get back to the ship. Not oh, spooky, but we gotta go.
We have a path, and you said that the lighthouse is a day away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
And it's already nighttime, right?
Yeah.
Once we're through the gate, Orin would slow up enough for everyone to catch up into a cluster, and he would start whispering, Callus did not know about the lighthouse, and if he is in cahoots with Riptide, which based on the conversation that we heard that dwarf and that weird demise lady having, he is in on the whole thing that we were investigating before here, which means he would probably be sending the information to them, so we need to get to that lighthouse now.
right. It's setting off time.
Yes.
That makes sense to me.
Sorry we could not stay for dinner, Ellie-wise.
That would have been so
pointedly.
nice.
I'm
He was
not
such a
sorry.
No,
good
it would
host.
not have- you were on-
We'll
you
talk
were on
about
the
this
menu.
on the boat. You are the menu, lass, and an appetizer at that.
No.
I
I don't
just
think so.
I just really like the drink, but I'll go along with you guys. I didn't get all that from that, but okay.
That's so
Was it
pure.
good?
I didn't get all that. It's so pure.
So you all rush back to your ship.
Perception. Well, is a perception needed to see if there are any other ships heading out from the dock as we are.
I will take a perception check from you.
Would someone else like to do that who might have a better perception?
I can try rolling it.
Oh yeah, I have a +4.
Perception.
Like, I'm not bad. I'm so used to Ari's perception. 21.
Nice.
You don't spot any ships that look like they're heading out of port right this minute.
Okay. Still moving with a sense of urgency, though.
Okay. So you all tumble back aboard your ship and are casting off.
Right. We don't need to go like check that house, right? To see if there's movement or secret meetings happening right now.
There are so many things I wish we had time to do in this town now that we're back here, and I had time to review my metaphorical notes, but unfortunately we do not have time. I'm concerned that Riptide is going to get wind of our knowledge of the lighthouse and problems will be afoot.
Okay.
I mean, would it be worth it for me to go fly over there and then catch up with y'all?
How fast can you fly?
If one were to measure things in a particular way,
As the Ellie flies.
60 feet.
Around every 6 seconds or so? That makes sense.
So,
120 feet around every 6 seconds or so because she could dash.
Yes.
yes,
And
that's
how fast does
I
our
can-
ship go relative to that? I'm not asking for precise. Could she reasonably catch up to the ship?
Yeah. How long could she be away that
Yes,
she could
a
catch
bird
back up?
a bird in flight could catch your ship, assuming that you're not putting all of your effort into speed.
Wow.
If you feel compelled to go check on that right now, then yes, we will keep from going as fast as we possibly can until you return. But we will keep getting the ship ready to take off.
Well, I'm trying to be a good teammate. So, yes, that's something that I think is valuable, but if nobody else does, then I can keep the
I'm not
feathers
saying
In the
down
event
and
that
just
you
be on the
wind up
ship.
correct, that is in fact being a good teammate. I suggest you go and be as quick as possible in surrendering your time back to here.
Okay. And I know the direction they're headed, right? I know that well enough to...
We're headed north.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool beans. See you later.
Bye.
Good luck.
So
I want that to be
Lillywise
your
transforms
canon
into an
line.
owl, and
We
flies
officially
off
split
into
the
Vale
party.
as the rest of you cast off and set sail. And that is where we will leave this episode. Thank you all so much for watching.
Split
if you'd
party
like
with
to,
a vampire in town, baby.
I don't know what you're on about. Charming men who live in castles and have interesting accents are not necessarily vampires.
It's true.
False.
If you'd like to see any of the things that any of these lovely people do, you can find links to all their stuff in the description down below, along with links to our Discord and all of our social media. Xanatar, vampire or no? Let us know in comments.
Vampire or
New
true?
episodes of Blades and Banners come out on Mondays. You can join us for the watch parties in Mia's Discord, Sandbox, new episodes of the Ship's Log, released on Fridays on our YouTube channel. And if
Nailed it.
Yep.
just nailed it. Right, got it. And until next time, thanks for rolling with us.